there. Welcome to 2023 and to Rebecca and Rebecca, where we love books. And we are ready for a brand new year of reviewing books and talking to the authors. So let me introduce us. I am Rebecca Yager, and my partner over there is Rebecca Reed. Hey, Rebecca.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Happy New Year, since it's
Yeah,
January.
close enough.
Yeah. So we ready for a new fun adventure?
Yes, we have a lot of really cool books lined up and authors lined up ready to talk to you and talk about their books and hopefully we have some interesting genres in store too as well, and a little bit of this and that and the other thing. I don't want to spoil it all right now, but
But no, but we
stuff to
are,
look forward to.
yeah, we are excited about our plans for this year. So we can't wait to share that with you as we go along here. So we are going to kick off the year with a romantic suspense from Love Inspired Suspense. And this is Wilderness Hunt by Lisa Phillips. And this is actually our first Love Inspired book that we've done. And Love Inspired Suspense, they have a Love Inspired Romance line and then the Love Inspired Suspense. And this is the suspense thing. And with Love Inspired, the word counts are shorter for that, so they're quick reads. But for this particular book, we were not short on action at all. So
No.
let's read the back cover copy so you know what book we're talking about, and then we'll dive into our thoughts on it. Again, this is Wilderness Hunt by Lisa Phillips, and it's a search and rescue mission turns into a deadly wilderness escape. When a plane carrying a federal witness crashes in the Montana backwoods, Officer Kelly Wayne and her canine, Nico, track it down and discover Ethan Harrigan injured with amnesia. Now, with the mafia on their trail, Kelly must protect the man she thinks ruined her career. But nothing's as it seems, and trusting the wrong person could get them all killed. This is another, as is mentioned in the blurb, it is a canine book again with police, and we did Driving Force with Kate Angelo. Also had a fun military war dog in it. So, and I know you have a dog.
Yes, and she's creating havoc right now. She
She's
apparently
visiting
wants
us,
to steal
right?
the show. Ziva, come here.
She's
Nope,
visiting.
she's not getting on key. Come here. Come here. No, she
Come
doesn't.
on.
She wants to make noise, but she doesn't want to be on camera,
So
apparently. Come
she's
here.
going to be camera shy.
Oh, there's a little bit of
A
her.
little bit of we saw a glimpse of her, and I'm not necessarily a dog lover. I'm not a dog hater. Don't get me wrong, but I did not grow up with pets, and I've only had dogs a few times in my adult life. But I
She's
am really finding myself enjoying these books. You
me
know,
too.
a lot with
Yes.
the canine, to have the dogs almost as another character
Hmm.
in them, and Nico is no exception in this book. With her handler Kelly, and we have a female police officer doing the canine,
Yeah.
which is different. So anyway, overall impressions of Wilderness Hunt. What did you think about it?
I liked the story. The like you said, it was quick, but there was no lack of action, no lack, and it was not just action either. There was a lot of internal things going on. The characters weren't just surface level. They all had their own issues they needed to overcome. And I was like you. I really liked the relationship between Kelly and Nico, and one thing that really stood out to me, because she was talking about she had had other partners who had not always treated her as well as perhaps this canine partner did, and she had put the dog in the kennel at the police station, and she felt almost like lost without her partner. And that was something that I thought was really interesting, and it was kind of neat that she was able to connect with this canine and she had not as a good a connection maybe with some of the other partners that she had had who were actually human. So,
Right. That's true. In fact, she feels betrayed, as we say, the person that may have ruined her career previously, and that comes out in the book. And what Kelly is trying to do, she is trying to prove herself because she feels like her career is in the balance here. and she's trying to reestablish herself in Montana, to be near her father. Actually, she just moved there, and she's creating this K9 program and trying to convince her boss and the powers that be that the K9 program is important. So she's got such motivation to be successful. And she's looking this plane crash that goes down. It's like, oh, this is her chance to prove that the K9 is really important, and that this program, and that's her, driving motivation to help her career and help get this program established.
Yes. Yeah, and it's almost a do or die situation for her, because if this doesn't work, she has no idea, where she's going to go. So she's very, very motivated, and you get that throughout the story, that she keeps coming back to that. That is kind of the thing that holds her back from accepting the romance that's offered in the story. And also it just keeps pushing her, pushing her, pushing her, whereas another person who wasn't so highly motivated probably would have given up long before that, or turned over the case to someone else, because it was just not working out super well. But she was just like, she wouldn't let go. She just kept going and kept going and kept going, which was because of this that inner motivation, that really, really driving inner motivation that she had to keep. She just didn't want to look like a failure. She felt like she had been a failure already so many times, and she wasn't going to be one more. This wasn't going to be one more failure for her. So yeah.
And there are times where she almost feels like she doesn't trust herself because of what she's been through in the past. So she really is trying to push here. And again, it's good that, and this part is for writers, I guess, the character development, although the readers might find it interesting, is that even in this short amount of words, we get a feel for Kelly, we get a feel for her motivations, we get why she's just pushing, pushing, pushing. And even though she thinks she's weak, she's actually showing her strength by her actions, with Nico, and in finding this plane crash, and then helping Ethan, who's the love interest too, and the hero of the story, and he has amnesia. So it's really a twist. She's got to get him through the wilderness, and the mafia's after them. And the plane crash is a plane crash with federal marshals. Let's clarify this. With witness protection, a witness on there that's in the witness protection program who is going to go testify against the O'Callahan mafia mob family going on. And there's all kinds of intrigue and people trying to make sure this witness does not get to the court.
Yes, and it's definitely a case of, and it says that on the back, of the book, that, trusting the wrong person will get you killed. And there's a whole lot of that happens. I mean, you just find you're never quite sure that the next character you meet, whether they're going to be on Kelly's side or against Kelly. And it's about 50-50. I mean, you come up against a lot of people and they just kind of split off. And even people that you thought you might trust maybe didn't turn out to be quite trustworthy, whereas some of the ones I was a little bit leery of, they turned out okay. So you're never quite sure when you first meet them which way it's going to go. And it really kept you turning the pages because of that. And I think it was really interesting how she would take her cues from the dog often, because there were times when she didn't trust somebody, but Nico did. And then she, so that was a kind of a gauge, another way to, really for her to like be sure who she should trust and who she shouldn't. And so I thought that was really interesting, because often, dogs do have those senses that we don't, and are able to tell somebody's motivation underneath their surface appearance, or what they're saying, that kind of thing, or even their position of authority, because some of these people were in positions of authority that maybe weren't upholding their law value, the what are the vows that they've taken, or whatever you want to, there was a lot of authoritative people in this book, and they were not all good. Let's just say it that
there
way.
You go. And I think Lisa did a good job of the red herrings of misdirecting you, like you said, half the time. Oh, wait, is this good? Or wait, is he bad? Is he wait?
Right.
You know, and it kept you guessing. And anybody who reads a lot of suspense or romantic suspense, there are a lot of times you can kind of guess who the bad guy was. And this time I was kind of surprised. It was
Uh-huh.
quite the web she wove of these interconnecting characters and who was good and who was bad. Now, we talked a little bit previously off camera, and we're not going to give any spoilers, but there was one character that kind of popped up out of the blue and kind of surprised me in maybe not so good a way. But if you read the book carefully, this character is mentioned previously, but it was almost glossed over. This would be my one kind of criticism about the book. It didn't ruin it by any means, but
Mm.
we don't
Just
like
made
characters
the joke.
that pop up out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah, I was like, wait, was that guy? Where did he come from?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, he was there, but just in it was just the way he was referenced didn't immediately make the connection
Yeah.
for me, and so it was a little bit I had to stop and think
Mm-hmm.
about it a bit.
Yeah.
So but
He
like
didn't
yeah.
quite stick. The beginning reference where he's mentioned didn't quite carry over to when he pops up into the book again. But I don't think it spoiled the book. We had to stop and think because she is weaving, as I said, this web
Oh yeah.
of intrigue and lies and who
No.
can you
Yeah.
trust and things like that. So, I'm going to give her grace because I kept on reading and I kept on turning
Hmm.
the page um, with this story. So I think it's worth the read. It's a quick read, like we said, shorter, but I thought it was really good and really fun. It was a fun romantic suspense. The ride
Yes.
was good.
I did enjoy it quite a lot, and the narration was good. I
Mhm.
think it only took me maybe a little over 3 hours to listen to
Mhm.
it, but I listen on like 1.2 speed. If you're a listener, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was just a little over 3 hours, I think, is all it took me, and so it was really quick. But my attention was held throughout. I didn't lose interest or think, oh gosh, I should go do something else. That was not really, never really thought that at all. I was very intrigued. And I did like the way that all the pieces came together at the end.
Mhm.
I thought she did a really good job of, with all these different threads kind of hanging out there. They all did fall into place and had a very satisfying ending, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, and that's a good way of putting it. It was a very satisfying ending, and she wrapped things up logically and neatly, and and
Hmm.
and outside of the one character we mentioned, that was a kind of a surprise. Everything wrapped up beautifully. So again, the narration of the audio was good. The narrator was easy to listen to and clear
Yes.
and
Yeah, they
good.
weren't distracting. I thought they did a good job with the voices. It was nothing spectacular, but it was definitely, and as a listener, like there are some people that I'm just like, I will not listen to you read this book because it will ruin it. This did not do that. It was fine. It was, you know, I would recommend it as
Mm,
an audiobook. So
that's good. Well, and again, as the paperback book, that big, easy to read, and again, quick read too. So it's a fun if you want a fun, easy, a good ride with suspense elements and a good ride with the romance elements too. Because I think she developed the romance um, pretty slowly, which I liked. It wasn't they
yeah.
met and fell in love.
No, I really did like, how I really liked the beginning. I was very intrigued by the amnesia, and then that whole little mini mystery in amidst the bigger picture really set up the beginning quite well. It was very interesting, even, and then once you found out who the person really was, it didn't change the interest level. It just added to it. I thought
Yeah.
it was just really, it was very well done.
Yeah, it was. I like that, the mystery within the mystery. She did give us a little intrigue at the beginning
Hmm.
with the amnesia and his internal thoughts. I thought she did the thoughts well. As
Yes.
he's trying to figure out. I mean, you're almost with him. He's really trying to figure out what the heck is going on and why am I running around in the woods and who's shooting at me? You know,
Yeah.
And who is this person with the dog at first,
Yes. But
Mm,
you do see, even when he doesn't know who he is, his character really shines through, that
mhm,
he is a protector, that he's a caring person. He's obviously not a bad guy, from the
right.
very, very beginning, because he acts in heroic ways without even knowing who he is. So you know that his character is definitely um, a good character. And it was really neat to look and kind of from a writer's point of view to see how she did develop a character that has no sense of self, because we always have those internal thoughts that deal with their past or their, and there was none of that for a while because he didn't know his past.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it was kind of a stream of consciousness thought process there, which was a little different than maybe you would have with a different kind of character. So, just a different, another thing to add in, something to do, a way to do something like that, which is, I don't think, always simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, writers, we depend on the backstory. We do develop our characters and they have a whole history before the story begins. Um, and yeah, he had a history and she knew who he was, but still to develop that without current thought and where he is, she did a great job with that. I also liked how, as I mentioned before, Kelly wasn't always confident in herself,
Mhm.
but the way he was looking at her with her confidence and her strength, and she was really helping him get through the immediate situation with guns blazing and stuff until he could figure out who he was and what skills he had and what he could do. So I really liked how we saw Kelly through his eyes.
Yes, I agree. The
Yeah.
it was really interesting because she was wanted to be in charge. I mean, that was what, she wanted to be seen as the leader, but at the same time, the fact that he listened to her but also like made suggestions that were useful and was able to really come alongside, it was a partnership even before it became a partnership. I mean, they were working together really well even when they didn't really know each other, even when he didn't know who he was. um, and it was kind of neat because her relationship with his brother was not like that. And so
Mhm.
it was interesting when she thought he was the brother and how she felt so differently about him than she had felt about him before when she thought they were the same person.
Right.
So listening to that and hearing how she rationalized that in her head was really interesting too.
Yeah. The internal monologues and the thought process really takes the reader deeper into the characters. And again, not always easy to do in a shorter work
Mm-hmm.
um, like this. So I do really appreciate Lisa's writing style and how she brought us to the heads of these characters,
Yes.
where you were really feeling what they were feeling or seeing what they were seeing. And yeah, I thought that was a great job
Mm-hmm.
with this and stuff. So anything else we want to talk about? Or are we ready to highly recommend this book?
Yeah, I think we covered all we can without giving away too
Yeah,
much. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's it with romantic suspense because we don't want to give any spoilers, but it's worth the read. I think we both really enjoyed it. And you've got a rainy Saturday afternoon, pick this book up and you'll get through it in that wonderful Saturday afternoon and be taking on quite a ride.
Yes.
I think. Well, that's it. We recommend this. We are next month. We're going to talk with Lisa Phillips herself and get her I don't know how she writes and what her methods are and how she thought of this interesting story, which it really was. Again,
Mhm.
lots of quite the spider web she wove there, and we look forward to hearing all about it and see what she's got coming down the pike next.
Like
Because I
40 things. Have you noticed she's had two book releases since this one already this year.
and this one
Or
just
one's coming up soon. I don't know. It's like this is like she's on like book 3 or 4 of the
oh
year.
gosh. Well, good.
So
So, excuse me. So if you like her as an author, then there's several books of hers to pick up. Well, we better catch up with her and find out what is next or what's already released since this one, because this is a recent release from last
yeah,
fall.
December, yeah.
It's just been out a few months and stuff, but that should be a fun chat. And then coming up after that, I do want to preview a little bit so y'all can be prepared. At the end of January, there's a debut novel coming out called Dear Henry, Love Edith, and it's by Becca Kinzer. And this is Becca's debut novel, as we said. And so we are going to read that one next and review it. And then we're going to talk to Becca. And I think that's going to be really fun to talk with the debut novelist and how she got to this point. It's like, you know, all of our dreams come true when you get that first book published. So I think that's going to be a great one. So be looking for that. And that'll be in March and April. March, we'll review the book, and in April, we'll talk with Becca. But again, next time, we're going to talk to Lisa Phillips, the author of Wilderness Hunt and several other books, and get to know her better. So I hope you will join us next time, and we will see you then.
Bye.